Detective Malcolm Howard was shot in the Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 1 Episode 10 finale, and the police are scrambling to find him. Rack and anybody who is with her are under attack by Unique. For the act she made Kanan participate in, Rack is required to keep him hidden. In the first episode of Season 2 of Power Book 3, Kanan spent the summer in Virginia with his Aunt Deborah. For his trip back to New York, Raquel went to pick him up. Detective Howard was unhappy because he couldn't find his ring when he was leaving the hospital. When Howard's doctor expressed surprise over his memory loss, Detective Burke, his partner, questioned her about it. The physician adjusted her with the fact that Howard was a miracle case. He came to the hospital with cancer and a bullet hole in his chest. Since there was another cop with matching bone marrow and donated, he is now in remission of cancer and his lungs had healed. Lulu and Jessica constantly argued about their relationship and Famous's career. The youth was talented but had been slacking off. He charged her to get him back on track since she was his manager. When Lou bailed, he overheard a beautiful singer, Zissa, portrayed by Paulina Singer, while in traffic. He forced her to pull over and offered to sign her to his label. Meanwhile, Jukebox visited Nicole's grave and made her a tape. On the ride back to New York, Rack told Kanan that Howard had amnesia and it was safe for him to return. He was still worried. Marvin would beat his case because Tony didn't show up to testify. Yet he had to complete anger management classes. When Burke got Howard to his home, she questioned him about the night he was shot and told him Unique's whereabouts conflicted with him being the shooter. Howard claimed not to remember that night. Later on, he picked up the file he had on Kanan. Rack took Kanan to the projects to show off her empire. They had a great vantage point to spot police, paid off people, and converted the top floor into a trap house so it didn't spill onto the streets, bringing the heat. Rack spoke with her lieutenants about keeping a low profile. Unique learned he was going to be released from prison soon. Meanwhile, Jukebox went through old photos and found one of her mother, Kenya Pierce, LaToya Luckett. Rack pulled everyone together for dinner. This was the first time they had gathered since Kanan was gone. Marvin tried to connect with Jukebox, but she had much resentment for him after he attacked her. After dinner, Rack confronted Lulu for putting their family business on the back burner for his new record label. Kanan spoke with Jukebox and pondered if he was cut out for the family business. Howard watched Kanan from the distance and pulled away slowly, ensuring Kanan saw him lurking. Rack discussed a plan for expansion with her brothers, and it involved hiring the enemy. She wanted to hire Whirl in his crew despite the fact that he tried to kill Lulu in a fire. Rack gave Lou new territory to take over, yet he declined her but was forced to take it over and hire the man who tried to murder him. It was a part of her master plan to keep the heat of police off her back and disarm Unique of a crew when he got out of jail. Despite Raquel's warning to Scrappy to lay low from his mother's illegal card games, he was caught in a police raid. Howard returned to the station and spotted Scrappy being interrogated. He spoke with Burke about the nuances of his shooting case. Rack took Kanan to meet Symphony and offered her gratitude since he drove the teen to Virginia. The couple hadn't seen each other since then. Afterward, he lectured her about Kanan's future potential for good, and she rebutted that she knows her son best. He told her that Kanan was scared of what happened prior to that road trip but wouldn't specifically say what happened. Then they part ways. While at the studio, Jessica urged Lulu and Crown Camacho to put more marketing dollars behind Famous. They were reluctant and introduced their new artist, Zissa, and she's amazing in the booth. Jessica and Crown are secretly having sex. They both pondered what would happen if Lulu found out. She told him that Lou would kill him. He hooked her up with a junior management position in Los Angeles. Later on, Kanan confessed to Rack that he doesn't think he was cut out to be the heir to the drug throne. The phone rang and Raquel took the call. Meanwhile, Unique was released from prison and Marvin spied on him in the distance. The call Rack took was from Detective Howard requesting a meeting. Later on, the two met in person.